you landed on this video, then maybe you are disappointed in UX UI design career, or maybe you don't know if it's worth for you to switch to this field and you just want to have a perspective what awaits you in 5-10 years if you are suddenly getting bored in it. I have 16 years of experience in UX UI design field, and I have seen many cases where people made a switch and how exactly they did it. And of course I was not immune to this idea myself, and over the years I was playing with different ideas in my head about where I would switch from UX design. So in this video I will give you all the use cases that I see, that I observe from my colleagues, from my friends when they are switching from UX design, and I will share with you what ideas did I have when I was in my lows and when I was thinking about switching from UX design. My name is Ines, my channel is about UX design, subscribe. When preparing to this video, I was going through different situations of some of my friends, of my own ideas, and I have identified 7 fields or 7 areas where you can potentially switch from UX design. And the first area is switching within UX design field. The thing is that there are 3 employment types that you can take in UX UI design. It's the freelance, working in-house, and working in an agency. I actually already have a video on this channel when I'm talking through all these employment types, providing my pros and cons and perspective and my own experience about working in all of them, because I did them all. So go on my YouTube channel and watch this video. But indeed, the majority of people I know, they are switching within the industry, they are staying in UX design, but they just choose different benefits that these employment models are suggesting them. You can see it actually on my own example. I started as a freelancer, then I switched to working in agencies, then in 2019 I became a product designer working in-house for big tech companies, and also I did one freelance project when I was in between jobs before I joined Zalando in 2021. And actually the existence of these employment types are keeping me entertained, because I don't know if I will be satisfied working in the industry for 16 years if I did not make these internal switches. And for me, it is actually a big advantage of this profession, because I believe that I can choose the lifestyle that I need at the moment. And if I think about different careers that my parents did, for example, they only had one option. They had to go to the office and work there 9 to 5. And talking about different situations that I observe in my day-to-day life, I must say that people from big tech is often switching to freelance. And it's actually a very good idea, because by the time you have reached certain levels of maturity in big tech, you have a strong name, you have a strong brand around you, and you also might be having a very good network that can give you certain gigs and projects to work on. I'm always very suspicious about freelancing in the beginning of one's career. I have explained it in the video that I mentioned before. I actually started as a freelancer and I struggled a lot with the client management, with the adopting skills that did not really benefit my UX UI design, but that's a completely different story. When people are reaching certain levels of seniority, it might make sense for them to switch to freelance just to get more freedom and a bit more money at hand. If I'm talking about myself, I'm not a big fan of freelance, but indeed I'm also considering that maybe in 3-5 years, if nothing will change in my day job, I will probably switch to freelance, because I already know what I can offer to the market. I will choose my niche. I will be really smart and intentional about that. I will start building my network before that, and I see that this is a possible option for me to maybe travel more, to have a bit more freedom in my calendar, and so on. So it's a good idea for me, and definitely something I would consider. The other type of switches that I see that are commonly happening is the switch within tech industry. From what I see, some of my colleagues and friends, they choose to learn front-end development or product management and just merge it with UX UI design. And they mostly do it because they collaborated a lot with certain types of people. They were more UX focused or more UI focused, and then they adopted and learned about this field anyways, and so they can now position themselves as being something more than just a UX UI designer. I think it is a very winning strategy, especially right now when AI is automating how we code and automating how we run projects and write papers and things like that. So I think it is a very feasible and underexplored area. I must say that I'm also having a certain interest in learning more about the product management side, because I'm also working mostly with product managers and not with engineers, because I'm a principal product designer. So I think for me, adopting some more skills, it's a future-proofed practices. And if I'm thinking about my positioning in this career, I will be invaluable for startups and for medium-sized companies if I am adopting more than just one area of expertise. This way, these people, they can also charge more. I think it is easier for them to land a job, because instead of hiring one person, you can just hire a T-shaped specialist, and you can cover certain tasks from some other areas. So this is definitely something to consider. What prevents me right now from doing a completely intentional switch to being a PM and a UX UI designer is the fact that we have a very strong separation between product roles in my organizations. So I cannot just start taking the job from some other people, because this way I think they will feel threatened by me. But anyways, this is something I strive to learn more about, especially in my case about the product management side. But I must say that the most switches I can recall of that type are done on this border between the front end and the UX UI design. And I think this is because AI is right now speeding this part significantly more. So this is something I would definitely consider to keep myself entertained, to feel that I'm growing, to build a future-proof career, and just to earn more. The third type of a switch that people are taking from UX UI design is when they become people managers. And if you follow me on my Instagram, you might recall that last year I made a switch for half a year working exclusively as a people manager. And that was possible because our people manager went to a parental leave, so I stepped in just to see if I will like working full-time as a people manager. I actually had this experience before. I used to manage people when I was working in agencies. I was a creative director there, and then in my previous big tech company, Yandex, I was also stepping into the managerial role. I was having one-on-one with people, but there at that time the complexity of the managerial position was somewhat less, and I was also doing some work hands-on still, because this was the requirement for being a successful leader in that organization. But having a full-time role where I don't do anything with my hands was quite new for me, and this was an interesting experience. I'm still reflecting on that, and I'm still thinking if this is something I would want to pursue. But definitely, if you are getting bored with working as a UX UI designer, if you feel that you did that all and you have explored every corner of Figma, then it's something to consider. Also, one of the advantages of being a people manager is that you will have a prolonged career ladder. This is something that every individual contributor that I know is struggling with, is that you are reaching a certain role. It is a staff designer or a principal designer. Sometimes they have now senior principal designers. But anyway, there is nothing else. And when you are managing people, you can go all the way up until, I don't know, maybe being a C-level manager. This is happening because managing people is a completely different skill, and it is a more of a general skill, and you can use it everywhere, more or less. So I think if you're really into these career ladders and you love working with people, you love observing how people grow, you love helping navigate them the corporate environment, this is definitely something that I would recommend. I had a great fun working as a people manager last year, and I would definitely love to try it more for a longer period of time, because 5-6 months or roughly the time that I was a manager, it was not enough for me to see the fruits of my work yet. But I definitely enjoy leading people, doing one-on-ones, seeing people grow, and even one person received a promotion under my supervision. Of course, the previous manager laid out the foundation, of course, but still, although it was fun for me and rewarding, I felt that it is very intense. And since I'm also doing this content creation and stuff, I felt that in many ways days I am more tired and I'm more stretched after having the full day of meetings instead of just having the full day working in Figma and working on some designs. It is a completely different working mode, and you need to be ready to have your day full of meetings all the time. By the way, if you like this video and you want to receive more videos like that, then give me a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button down below. That's important for me and for YouTube algorithms to start recommending you similar videos. And we are moving on. Now, the fourth switching type that I often observe is people switching off tech completely. I must say that it used to be not very common scenario, but since now we have a lot of layoffs and people are struggling to land a job, they are naturally trying something else. So this way I know a person who was laid off 1.5 years already, and she was struggling to land a job ever since, and she's tried herself as being a baker. And as far as I understand, it was always her dream, and she found herself an internship in a real bakery. But from what I know, she found that it is way more challenging, of course, than working in the office, working as a UX UI designer, because she had to wake up at 4 a.m. or things like that. So you could imagine the challenges that are related with working like real hands-on on physical products. And the other person that I know is working as a barista right now, and he's also working like that for roughly a year. And initially it was always his dream to be a barista, to open a coffee shop and things like that. And I know that this person was fantasizing about this work for a very, very long time while working as a UX designer in a big tech company. But then from what I also see, they found out that it is far away from the fantasies, and the real hands-on work is actually really, really hard. And I could imagine this to be true. I used to work in service. It's the constant flow of people. There are some things that you need to deal with when it comes to the perishing goods and things like that. So I know that many people right now who were fantasizing about being farmers, baristas, sommeliers, and so on, they found out that this life is far away from the pastoral fantasies that they had. I must say that I was also thinking about quitting UX design altogether and opening a coffee shop on Bali, or then being barista in France. So I had certain fantasies myself, but luckily, or maybe unfortunately, I've never got a chance to try it. Maybe if I were laid off and I was struggling to find a job for a very, very long time, I would indeed try it anyways and see if I like it, because still this is a decent job and you are learning a new skill. So let's see how these people that I know will feel in some years. Maybe they will eventually love it and enjoy it, or maybe they will switch back to working as a UX UI designer. As far as I know, they are still on the search for the jobs, but for the moment I wish them a good luck, of course. The fifth option you might be considering when switching from UX design is actually opening your own business. And you can of course open a coffee shop or a bakery, but I'm mostly seeing people opening up startups, and I mean classical tech startups with co-founders and investors and things like that. So I think it is a very easy thing to do. Like, I mean, of course you need to land an idea, you need to have a network, you need to have a technical co-founder, so it's all clear. But still, since you have this insight about the work in tech, it's way easier, I think, for people to start a startup than for them to start a bakery. Because if I'm thinking right now, what do I know about how the actual bakery works? I know nothing, but I have already certain expectations from how things are organized in a startup. So I think this is why most people are driven into this direction, and which is, I think, is a fantastic way to also try something new. Of course, it comes with the risks, and I personally, I'm fantasizing of having my own startup, but unfortunately I've never had an idea that I would think worth pursuing, and to quit my own job and to dedicate everything into this one idea. And also I have never met a technical co-founder or a potential person who might be a technical co-founder, because of course I cannot code, or like I can do it like in a very little way. I'm exploring different AI that are helping you to code, but still I would say that I would need someone to help me out. And if you are a technical co-founder and if you're looking for a design/marketing co-founder, then let me know. But until then, I will not be considering this option for myself probably. And there is one another type of business that is related to UX UI design, but it is not a startup, is opening your own agency. This is also what I see people are doing all the time, especially after they were working as freelancers and then they've got a lot of clients and they could not manage them on their own anymore. So they hire more people and they coach these people, teach them, and this way the agency is formed. So I think it is a pretty typical way how people are keeping themselves entertained and also growing and earning more. So it is something I would also consider if you love working with clients, if you already have the client base and you have an idea how you will obtain more clients going forward. And the idea number 6 about what you can do when you want to switch from UX design is that you can start teaching UX UI design. It might sound not like switching, but I would actually say it is switching, because if you know, I'm working as a teacher, I have my own programs, and I've learned that teaching is a completely different skill you also need to learn. And initially I was thinking that, hey, I know so much about UX design, it will be a piece of cake for me to teach it to others. But then I learned that you have to create a program, that you need to think about the user experience of this program, that you need to create engaging videos, that your quality should be great, and all these things. And also there are teaching techniques and how to make people memorize the stuff that you give them. So it is a very interesting field for me personally. That's why I'm developing it and I'm getting better and better. And who knows, maybe someday I will switch to it completely. So far I don't have any plans like that, but let's see. And this is also what I see many people are doing. I think it is great. It is a fantastic thing that we have a lot of materials right now to learn UX UI design. But from my experience, I can also tell that because we have so many materials and so many fantastic teachers and YouTube videos, this field is getting commoditized very, very fast. And online education is commoditized fast anyways. So that's also one of the reasons why I'm not switching to it completely, because I'd love to see how it will develop in time, especially right now as it's getting easier and easier to create materials with the use of AI, and it is actually the redundancy of these materials. So I don't know if I want to make a bet on this industry right now. I know that I see some perspectives for UX UI design field, so I'm staying close to it still. And the idea number 7 that I would have if I were thinking about switching in UX design is to start coaching. And coaching, in my opinion, it is not like teaching. It could be coaching for startups or for founders or for other designers, and it is more about the personal level and the personal growth, at least in my opinion. And I believe that it is a very underrated field if you are thinking about switching from UX UI design. Because I know that some people might get an impression that, well, all I know is just how to operate in Figma and what can I even teach to other people. But I actually think that as a UX UI designer, you learn certain skills like how to present your work, how to communicate with people, how to collaborate with people, how to be always on time with your designs, how to scope your work, how to define the priorities and things like that. And these are great materials for personal coaching. I know personally a couple of people who recently switched from working in big tech to being personal coaches. They are positioning themselves as being the efficiency coaches or something like that. So I think it's getting more and more in this direction. I personally know nothing about what it takes to be a coach. I've never worked with a coach, but maybe this is something I would explore if I were you and if you were switching and thinking about switching from UX design and you already have all those qualities that other people might buy from you. So these are all ideas I can give you if you want to switch from UX design. Let me know in the comments if you have more ideas, if you've made the switch yourself, and tell us more about where did you switch and how it went. And if you have seen other situations from other people, also let us know. Let's collect all the ideas where a person could switch from UX design under this video. I think it's going to be very fun. If I'm talking about myself, I think it is clear right now that I'm still staying with UX UI design because I see that it is still worth it to be a UX UI designer going forward. And in my opinion, we might be actually witnessing the most exciting part and the most exciting development in the UX UI design field. And I'm talking about the AI. We can design for AI, we can design with AI, and this is something I'm really looking forward, and I don't want to miss this for now. Maybe in some time when we will see how the industry will develop, I will get disappointed, I will get another burnout, and I will think about making a full-time switch to teaching or to being a content creator, or maybe, who knows, opening my own bakery. But for the moment, I'm always open to different options. I'm trying to skill myself to being a product manager, just to learning a bit more about this field. This is because I feel that the more general we are, the harder it is to optimize and to automate one part of our job. But for me, it is definitely not a priority right now to make the switch, but let me know in the comment if this is something that you are considering and why. And that was it for today. If you like this video and you want to receive more videos like that, then hit the subscribe button down below and click the bell. This way you will get a notification when a new video is out. And I see you next time.